One thing about me is that I love a forbidden romance. I love when two people are supposed to be sworn enemies because of small family feuds or straight up vendettas. Especially when it's two opposing families for centuries, like, whoa, that is piping hot tea. The angst, the emotion, the drama, the star-crossed lovers of it all. So imagine my fucking surprise when I see that MLP gave us a bit of that. I never made it to season 7, I'm pretty sure. So I was shocked to see clips with those themes on TikTok about an MLP episode. But that wasn't enough and I needed the full story. The Perfect Pear tells us the story of how Applejack's parents got together. I never really hear their family mentioned in the show now that I think about it, besides Granny and all the siblings, but who knew they had such a crazy backstory? So if you haven't seen it or you forgot, I'm going to act as your fairy little god Pegasus because I said so, and I'll be giving you a cute little recap. We start the episode with Apple Bloom walking around what looks like a farmer's market. Apple Bloom stops at a stand with a giant pear on top and starts talking to the worker and asks if he's new around here, and he introduces himself as Grand Pear, clever. A customer chimes in and says that he's come back to Ponyville. Grand Pear was apparently from here before opening a successful pear store in another city, Van Hoover. God, these puns are on par with Monster High, like I'm living for this. She wonders why he moved back, and he just replies saying he wanted a change of pace, and then he also ends up giving her a jar of jam for free after she tastes some and likes it so much. Apple Bloom comes back home for dinner to the only country bitch I tolerate, and Big Mac, love of my life. I love this family down. Boots. Bloom says she has the perfect jam for their flapjacks, and the second she pulls out that pear jam, Applejack loses her shit. She also notices that Granny Smith is coming down the stairs and has to move quick, along with Big Mac, to hide it under the floorboards. Then we come back from one of the best theme songs of all time, top 10, I Do Make the Rules. Bloom is confused, but Applejack says that there is a long-standing feud between the Apple and Pear families, but Applejack nor Big Mac have any idea why. Bloom wants to ask Granny Smith, and then she appears, wondering what they need to ask her about, but Applejack plays it off by saying they want to know what goes better with their flapjacks. When Granny Smith goes to wash up before eating, Applejack tells Bloom that anytime her or Big Mac ask about the feud, Granny gets very upset. Applejack then comes up with the idea to ask Goldie Delicious, the family historian, and you know, Golden Delicious are the best apples, so it's a win for this character based on her name alone. They take a sibling trip in the morning, and my queen makes a grand entrance. Like, she is so cute and cunt. Look at her sleigh.
Now that's how you make an entrance!
Apple asks about the feud, and Goldie questions if Granny knows anything about them coming. After Bloom says she wants to know what happened because Grandpa was so nice to her, Goldie pulls out the Apple family lore and gives us a cute little story time. A long time ago, Apple Acre Farm wasn't the only farm in Ponyville, and there was another one next door. We cut to a flashback of the same farmer's market, and a young Granny Smith is constantly beefing with a young grandparent over which family has the best farm, better trees, etc. They were one-upping each other like crazy. They're rivals. Ugh, the drama. Now listen. Allegedly, the only Apple and Pear to ever get along were Bright Macintosh and Pear Butter. They were the youngest and like super innocent in all of this. Macintosh creeps up to the fence and whispers that he's not supposed to talk to her, and Pear Butter says the same thing back. He mentions that his mom told him that if he holds a buttercup flower under his chin, it'll make it glow, except it doesn't work on him. She tries it and it glows, but she can't tell, so when she asks if it's working, Mac says it sure does, Buttercup, and Pear Butter says she likes that name. How adorable! Applejack is like, hold on, those are our parents' names, and Goldie says that Buttercup was just the nickname that he gave her, and that Pear Butter is their mother's real name. Apple is gagged and gooped. She's basically in disbelief that they are practically mixed. Even Big Mac actually says words. Rare.
So we are half pear?
I can't believe it.
Applejack is now fiending for more information. She wants to know the tea. She wants to know what's good. And Goldie just speaks on how much they love each other and says that she's going to need volume 138 to read from for more proper information. Except that's going to take a couple days, so they should go visit his old friend Burnt Oak for now. Then her back gets broken by a damn cat, like no doubt. Somebody check in on her. Is she okay? You didn't hear this from me, but why is Burnt Oak kinda fine? I don't know, it might just be the older southern accent, but like, ooh, girl, chill on me. I see you looking at me like that. Don't look at me like that. You know you're thinking it too. Burnt Oak notices them and he's like, well, I know y'all aren't here for firewood because you got hella trees, so he assumes that they must be here about their dad, to know more about their dad, and he's right. He said he had hoped that they would ask him one day, and now I'm sitting here like, wait, are their parents dead? Is their dad dead? Like, I don't recall knowing about that, but I mean, it's possible because they keep referring to them in the past tense. What is going on? He gives us his own flashback to when they weren't babies, but like, you know, they're still young, probably like 10 or something. I don't know, pony years, I can't tell. Basically, they're racing around on the apple farm until Macintosh gets distracted by his crush, Miss Pear Butter. He ends up being like, fuck the race, and goes off course and runs over to the fence, except he can't slow down enough, so he breaks through it and crashes into a water silo, causing water to spill out everywhere. Pear Butter is soaked, and now so are all their crops. Grandpa notices, and he is not a happy camper. He starts getting on Pear's ass about it while Macintosh and Burnt Oak are watching as they hide behind a bush, but Macintosh cannot let his girl be yelled at for long, so he walks out and owns up to his mistake. Pear Butter is giggling and blushing at her knight in shining armor, and oop, Grandpa caught that. Girl, you gotta be slicker than that. Grandpa demands a new silo, and then he walks off with Pear Butter and tells her that no pear will ever make googly eyes at an apple, ever. But Macintosh is oblivious to all this, and he has hearts all over. He is in love. Apple Bloom chimes in and makes a good point because she says, wow, our dad sure was, hint, hint, was super honest. And then that's basically a wink at Apple's cutie mark, which is so cute. Like, aw, that's adorable. How do they not know this, though? Like, what do they know about their parents? Now I'm curious. Like, this is kind of crazy. Burnt Oak then tells them that on their dad's breaks from working on the farm, he went to go fix the water silo, and it took weeks. But that also gave him the opportunity to learn more about their mom. So their mom is dead too. If they want to know more about their mom, they should go talk to Mrs. Cakes because they were besties back then. They run off, except Mac comes back and asks if he can stop by to hear more stories about his dad. I love him. He is the cutest bean. They pull up to Mrs. Cake's place, and she's shocked to see all three of them there, but glad that they're finally asking about their mother because she never knew how to bring up their past together. What happened? Somebody explain, because nobody wants to be bold enough to tell them. What happened? Anyway, I guess Apple Bloom relates to her mom too because she helped others get their cutie mark, just like her mom helped Mrs. Cakes. I totally remember that Cutie Mark Crusaders episode. Oh my god. Now Mrs. Cake has her flashback, and it's about all the time Pear Butter helped her with her cakes over the years. And then one day when they were older, she wanted to surprise her with a cake, but Pear Butter and Macintosh were on a secret date. She wants to respect their privacy, but when she goes to leave, she accidentally steps on a branch, and it makes a bunch of noise, and everybody is spooked. Macintosh gets into protective mode and tries to figure out who's there. This is the type of man I'm talking about. This is what we need. She promises and swears up and down not to say anything just when Granny Smith comes into frame, so they get exposed anyway. She drags Mac away and says that they are not to be near any pears. Now it's Pear Butter's turn for all the hearts up in her eyes. They are in love, like, oh my god. When is it my turn? When is it ever going to be my turn? We also get another scene of them on top of a hill. Not only is he counting the days, but he's been counting the hours that they've been together. Are you kidding me?
Happy 131,456 hour anniversary, darling.
And it's not even the anniversary of when they've been together. It's the anniversary of when he first called her Buttercup. I will never find a love like this. What the fuck? So I did some calculations about how many days that was and how many years, and now I'm in love with him too. Girl, get out of the fucking way. It's my turn. He tells her it's okay if she didn't get him a gift or anything, and then she whips out her guitar. He's kind of confused at first, like he's perplexed, because he doesn't know how to play the guitar, but he still appreciates the gift anyways. But then she's like, no, dummy, I made you a song. And it's basically how she knows that they aren't supposed to be together, but they're in love anyways, despite what their families say. And the clips that they show in the background are so cute. They run off together while their parents are arguing at their stand. They go on dates. They dance together even though they can't dance together. I mean, I'm sobbing over here. They're together through all the seasons, rain or shine, and he even gets bold and waves to her right next to Granny Smith. This is a real man. This is what I'm talking about. She tells him I love you during the song, and he's like, damn, I really wanted to say it first. He gives her his hat to shield her eyes and then leads her over to a rock with their jars engraved on it, like their cutie marks. Oh my god, I can't. All of a sudden, boom, the Pears have to move to Vancouver. Remember, to expand their business and get away from the apples. Pear Butter was super upset, but she had to tell Mac that she has to stick with her family no matter what, and that there's nothing she can do about it. It's not her choice. Now the siblings race over to Grand Mare for what happened next. The night before her family is supposed to move, Bright Macintosh asks her to meet him for a small surprise wedding ceremony. He doesn't want to be apart from her, and then she says that she would marry him today too. I love love. I love love. They didn't want to make too much noise about it, so their special way of putting a ring on it was basically putting the opposite kind of seed in each other's farm. This is the best love story I've heard in years. Netflix, what are you doing? Granny Smith and Grandpa stumble upon the ceremony, and they are wondering what the heck is going on. Mac tells them that Buttercup and him are in love, and they're married now. Actually, at this point, they hadn't been told to kiss yet, but the grandmare is like, okay, I'll do my job and I'll tell you, you can now kiss the bride. And then they finally kiss, so they are officially married. But Granny Smith is not a fan, so she separates them. Grandpear tells her that she has to stick with her family, but Pear Butter says that the apples are now her family too. I mean, technically she's right. He then gives her the ultimatum of being an apple or a pear. She doesn't want to choose, but in the end, she chooses apple. The siblings decide they need to talk to both grandparents after this story, so they all go back up to Grandpear's stand as he's closing it. Applejack introduces all of them, but she says he probably already knows who they are, and he admits that he does. He also admits he moved back to Ponyville because he really wanted to get to know his grandkids better. They all hug, and that's resolved super quick because it is kids' TV. We only got 22 minutes an episode, and we're towards the very end now. The Apple family returns home, and Granny is asking them where they've been all day, and they tell her that they were out learning about their parents. She did not expect that. She is frightened. They also bring Grandpear to the farm, and he gets revealed, and, they tell her that they know all about their part in this story, too. Granny Smith apologizes, and so does Grandpear once more. They shake hooves and promise to get along and be there for their entire families. Bloom says that their parents left something to remember them by, and I don't know if they are dead or just moved away truly at this point. Like, did they not tell anyone where they were after they had kids or something? They walk until they spot a huge interconnected tree. I guess they planted those seeds so close together that it just became intertwined. Like, that is beautiful. That is truly the symbolism here. I can't, as a writer, like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm looking for. The episode ends with a huge family group hug, and now I want to cry. I do. This episode is a 10 out of 10, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the highest rated episodes of MLP ever. I felt a wide range of emotions, and I'll never be the same person that I was before. Okay, I'm being a little dramatic, but like, this is peak TV on the real. Like, this will not be duplicated, will never be replicated. This is like one of a kind. It's not, but it is. So I looked up what happened to the parents, and it's just all unknown. Like, not even the wiki knows. And you know those bitches know everything. They update that like it's their job. Anytime they get new content, they update it quickly with the quickness. So if they don't know, then it really is just up for interpretation. But, I mean, the most common theory I've been finding is that everyone thinks they died in maybe some tragic accident or something. And that's why they all live with Granny still, because what else could it have been? I don't think they would have abandoned their kids like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's a kid's show, so they probably can't say the words like death, dead, or dying. But I would like to know. We're all adults now. You can tell me now. But at the end of the day, at least their parents are living on through their kids, and that is just beautiful. Alright, you have a nice day. I'm off to cry, but also giggle and kick my feet as I watch this episode again and again and again, and check out the cute moments on TikTok again and again and again. Yeah, that's it for this video. Bye!